Hi, Allie. This is Carson. I just want to take the time tonight to help guide each other through this first part of the project, go through all these great photos, and kind of give each other some direction for where to take the final steps for this project. First, going through your album, I really liked your use of contrast and texture. The summit is being such a brick and mortar area, makes for some great pictures as far as texture goes, I think. And some of your pictures do a great job at reflecting this. I wanted to start with this image here. And just referring back to that idea of texture, I feel like the water from the fountain coming up really helps with that idea of texture. And also your use of monochrome, making it black and white and such, really just adds to that effect. That you can really see it almost creates more shadows within the water that you wouldn't get with a typical colored photo. Also, as far as the people go, the summit being such an active area, it's really well reflected in this image with all the different people, some of them sitting, some of them standing, moving on to the next shop and such. So I just really feel like this does a good job at capturing what the summit's like in a typical day, and the renovation in the background kind of shows how it's a continuously improving area. Moving on, my next photo I especially enjoyed was this one here. It's a little bit simpler than the last one, but there's still a lot of activity going on between the construction workers on the top of the building and this older couple here meeting up at the fountain. And again, you see the great texture and the floor patterns with the tiles. And I also think there's a good use of contrast between the bright buildings. You can really see the light coming off from the right of the screen, casting these nice long shadows, but with the stones and the bright buildings, it really contrasts the darker ground very well, which again, I find being a very good theme that you use within your album. The next solid picture I wanted to talk about was, sorry, there's just so many scrolling through them. There it is, yes. This is another great use of texture as far as the ground goes. Again, you do an excellent job with this. I can really feel the environment as I am drawn from this brighter foreground here, making my way up the hill of the background to your central figure here. I think you do also an excellent job using space. The way your subject is looking over the ground and such, and she is above it all, just makes for a very interesting picture and such. With any album, there's always things that we can improve on, and there were a few pictures I found that I felt like had quite a bit of potential, but maybe there was just a little bit more that could be done, just to make it really give it that extra step and such, this being one of them. I had seen you use this picture earlier within the album as well, and I think with this one, obviously it's a little blurry, but that's okay, it's just a matter of slowing down, but we all do things like that. Nonetheless, these great colors, it's a very bright picture. I'm curious to see what it would look like in monochrome, being black and white and such. Just giving this idea of, we know there should be color in this image, but maybe it can kind of give some sort of different idea if it weren't. Just a curiosity to see what that might be like. Another image I saw that I felt could use just a little bit more improvement was this one here. There's a lot of potential again to take in all this texture and such, but I feel like there's a missed opportunity to again apply that black and white grayscale between the sky here. There's a lot of nice geometry going on between the harsh line of the top of the building, but then a very ergonomic foreground here. Just again, maybe play with that grayscale and see what kind of effects you can get from that. Nonetheless, I feel like your album is very solid. I think just a matter of overall slowing down and taking the time to get some of those blurrier pictures into focus, maybe apply some of those rules of third we learned to better center and better give some more weight to some of the images and such. Nonetheless, I'm excited to see where your project goes, and I hope this is helpful in taking those final steps and such. And the application of your texture and contrast, I think, are what your biggest strong suits right now towards making a very dramatic and impactful album right now. So, great job, and I hope you find the end of this project going smoothly. Have a good night.